Well, I'm excited to be here. Lainey asked me a year ago, and I had just retired, and I said, oh, Lainey, I don't know. And then I thought, okay, that is a year from now, so I think I'll be ready by then where I've had enough of a rest, and I love teaching, I just don't like the preparing of it, Like to prepare for this demo took me all week, it takes a week's time. And you'll see, because I'm not a fast painter, so I kind of have steps. And I like it to go a little bit farther, a little faster. But anyway, can you all hear me really well? Okay, all right. You got it good so that we're filming? David? Okay. So I thought I'd tell you my information to start with, and if you watch this on YouTube, you can just do a screenshot of this and then be able to find me, request to be my Facebook friend. I would recommend you writing me an email and let me know, because I haven't approved anybody for Facebook for quite a few years, because there's so many scams out there, So anyway, my Facebook, I have a Facebook account, Instagram account, a website. I used to do a blog spot, and that still is good. I mean, it's old, because I haven't done it for a while. But it's got a lot of lessons on it. So if you like the way I teach, check that out. And if you go on my website, there's a link to that right at the bottom, but it's just KarenKnutson.blogspot.com. Funny thing about my name is spelled with S-O-N. Think of the Son of God, right? Think of a son, S-O-N. There's a Karen Knutson up in Canada that's been getting a lot of my sales. But she's very honest, so she's always let me know. And she just let me know a couple days ago. I got an email back from the quilting group that I'm in, and evidently I double paid. So, okay, so here's some more things that I have for sale. I was asked to bring things for sale, and I didn't bring a lot, but I did bring my books for sale. This is something I recommend you all do. Okay, I know 3 of you maybe will try it, but you should all do this. And that is to pick a month and do a painting every day. You're going to be amazed how much better you are by the end of that month, okay? These are little books that are for sale through Blurb. They are anywhere from $28 to $32. And I used to bring a bunch of them and I would sell them, but now I just let Blurb do it all. So these are all of my 30 days that I did I usually do it in January, because I don't know about you, do you paint in December? Anybody? I party. I like to go to parties. So these are all, I've done 6 of these. Like this is from 2014. This one, honestly, is probably the best one. The 2018, because this one I got a little bit more ambitious, and I have kind of some secrets on how these are done. So it's a little bit of a how-to book, along with the finished painting. The rest of them are wire drawing is something that I'm a popular lesson that I teach. That this one is just basically has pictures of the wire drawings, so you can see them. But this one actually has like a little bit of lessons in there too. So I'll put these are not for sale. These were my parents, so they're written in and nice things to my parents, so don't take them. And these are for you to look at and see if you'd be interested in getting them from Blurb, okay? I also on my website have little color study booklets that you use only 3 colors, and you end up with wonderful, anybody done that? Where you just use 3 colors? That is magic. It really makes a difference. And so with that, they're only $10. You print them off from my website, they're PDF, and you can print them off and then make this little booklet. I always just put 2 holes in it, put a rubber binder, or kid's rubber binder, or, you know, and put a paintbrush in there, and you've got a little book. So of these, all of these paintings are done with only using 3 colors, and then it tells those colors what they are. So, and then if you don't feel like making that little book, you can always take it to Dick Blick, and they'll do this spiral thing, but that used to cost $7. I'm not sure what it costs now. Maybe 10, probably. Everything goes up, but those are some more little things that I have done. Then I have a couple of mail order lessons, which is absolutely step by step with pictures on how to do a particular painting. And they are on my website also. So that is that. And tonight, Marilyn was in charge. Lainey got me to come, and then Marilyn got to tell me what to do. and Marilyn said, I want you to do acrylic. And so here is an example of some of my acrylic painting. This is a vertical, so I'll put it this way so you can just see the whole thing. And then I'll turn it there. Turn your head sideways. And then, but I want you to notice that I am a stickler about my lights. The lights bring your eye through the painting. Okay, so all of this is on purpose, to lead your eye through this. These being lighter here against the dark background is on purpose. So I really love design, and I'll talk a little bit about that tonight, so you can see. Here's another one I'm going to show you later on. I don't know, do we have a break, or do we go straight through?
There's a break at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Whenever you.
All right, so if you want to go home, and I know I've done it, I live clear across town, you will miss how to do this gold, okay? So have that little carrot out there, you gotta stay to see how to do the gold. This is similar to one that I'm going to be doing tonight for my demo. There's another one. I got this one in a plastic bag, so we'll see if this comes through. These are all acrylic with the people. Some more dragonflies with the gold, a little bit smaller. This one is watercolor. So I'm going to be talking tonight to, I don't know how many of you are like, I am not doing acrylic, okay? I will save you, okay? I will show you how to do this. So this is my special for the evenings. I did these, I hadn't painted for about a month, and I haven't taught for a year. So I thought, oh boy, you better get back into this. And so I did these little 5x7s, and these I'm selling for $50 tonight. So if anybody's interested in these little ones, it's a pretty good price. And these are just little warm-ups, doing what we're going to be, the process that I'm going to be showing you how to do with dragonflies. They're cute. You all love dragonflies like I do. Oh, they're good luck. I'll put those over there. Okay, so what we are going to do, I think I'll show you what we're going to be doing, and then I'm going to show you. Okay, so these are the backgrounds that I'm going to show you how to do next, and talk to you about. I use analogous colors, and then I use an opposite. So if you can imagine this without these orange spots or rust-colored spots, you see how that just is not as nice, is it? So the opposite color really makes a difference, and then that little pop of dark really makes all those other colors come alive. In the process, I'm going to be showing you how that you sprinkle some water on, and that's what causes these white spots. This one I thought was I love this color, the color of this one a lot. This is yellows, pinks, orange, and then the opposite is the blue.
Those are all done in acrylic.
These are all done in acrylic.
On like 144 watt.
No, these are done on Strathmore Aquarius 80-pound paper, but you can't get that anymore. So I just told you that for nothing, right? You can use Reeves what's it called? BFK. Thank you, Georgia. Reeves BFK printmaking paper. I have found works as a substitute. It's not as yummy as this was. It really isn't. This feels like leather when you're done. It's just a wonderful feeling. It is a watercolor paper, but they honestly don't. They stopped making it. I don't. Yes.
Can you say the name of the paper you're using now again, please?
Strathmore that I'm using now.
Yeah.
Reeves BFK printmaking paper. And I use a lightweight. So if you don't have to get the heavy paper. I like it better when it is a little bit lightweight because we're going to be preparing it. This one I use too much water. So I wanted to show you guys that so you can see what not to do. Right there. That is not what I don't want to do. This one I forgot the opposite color. You see? It's all warm. So it didn't work as well. So this one is a little bit too dark. Put this this way so you can see it. I want to use medium colors, okay, so that I can glaze and make them a little bit darker. This is pretty, I like it, but I'd be done. You know, I can't get any darker than just a black, maybe. So, all right, so that's enough of that, maybe. I think. Any more? This one, I way put too much water on this one. I think that maybe was when I was teaching my grandkids how to do it. That's an experience, because you're going to see. You're going to see. You can't believe that I would do that. And then I did it with Girl Scouts. I taught the Girl Scouts. We had 11 Girl Scouts in my studio. Oh boy, but they did so good. They were such good listeners, and they really did well. Okay, so I'm going to show you how usually I just kind of talk you through this, and I don't actually show you, but I kind of think it's important for you to see how I do this. So the first thing I do is I prepare the paper. And so this paper, and I usually do, I'm just going to prepare half of it here. Up to that. All right. So I have acrylic, let me put this underneath so everybody can see it. Liquitex matte medium. You can use gloss medium too, it's just that your painting will be more glossy. That's the only difference, okay? And then I am going to put a sizable amount of this, squirt that on top. Can you see that? Barely, huh? And then we take a big brush, there it is. I always wet my brushes, don't ever use a brush, just dry. Wet your brush, and then I'm going to squeeze the water out of it. And now I'm just going to, this is like a brush that you pay, I think, $1 at like Michael's somewhere. I call it a barn brush. And I'm purposely being messy with this. I don't go real neat with this like this. I'm going sideways, all different ways, because I want those grooves from this brush to be, when I wipe out the whites later on, you're going to be able to see how neat this is. Okay? So I coat the whole surface, and this is when you kind of like when you play solitaire and your neighbor's always telling you what to do, you know. This is when you need your neighbor to tell you where there's a spot that you missed. Because if you miss a spot, when you go to take it out, I'm going to show you how to do your whites to take them out, you won't be able to, okay? So my last thing is I just kind of whack it with my brush. That causes a suction. So I get some kind of fun textures on that. The other way you can get textures is just to take the corner of it and onto itself and do the suction thing like that. I also take, you can take an eraser. This is called a shaper. It's actually rubber on the end of this. And I just make some marks around the outside edge. And that is just, I'm injuring the paper. I'm actually making a dark spot in that. When I go to paint into that, there's going to be a dark spot there. That's why I only do it around the outside edge. I don't want to go across if I'm going to add a face. I don't want that across there. Although I have done it. I am abstract. So I'll let this dry. That's all there is to the preparing. You let it dry. I do it overnight. I don't like to do it and then blow dry it and stuff because I don't think it dries it enough. So, okay. So that's the step one. Now you let that dry completely, and now I've got mine dry. And this is something I learned of. How many of you do acrylics? Is it about like half of the class? Or? No, not even half. Okay. One thing that will save our environment and your water, and how many times you have to change your water thing, is to wipe it off on a paper towel before you clean your brush. And do you know how hard it is for me to remember to do that? Because I did it the wrong way. I mean, we're creatures of habit. So anyway, so I got that one cleaned off. If you don't clean these brushes, what I just did was like a glue, and your brush will be ruined. And that goes for all of your brushes. Okay, now comes the fun part. I'm going to convert some of you who have never done acrylic before, right? Okay, so we'll do it this way. I'm going to pick analogous colors. So I've got a teal, I've got another color that's called Bahama Blue. The joke was on me when I did this once. This is $1, it's only cost $1. I thought, oh, this is such beautiful color. I'm going to buy like 10 of them. Well, guess what? When it's $1 or $2, dries up pretty fast in there. Because, it's not the good stuff. This is the good stuff. And I just went there tonight to Dick Lick and spent $200. So, yeah, you could spend a lot in a hurry. Anyway, so I got that one. I got the analogous color here. And then right by that on the color wheel is green. So I've got a green, gold green. All right, so that's my 3 analogous colors. And I might just sneak in this one too. It's another cheap, it's called Wild Wasabi. And then I want to have an opposite color, so I'm going to do Pyro Orange. I could do iridescent copper. That's kind of an orange color. That's orange enough to be an opposite. And then I'm going to use what I call a naughty color. I'm talking like, you're just getting into trouble, okay? And that's raw umber. So I'm going to start out with a heavy paint, and that one, you can use any color that relates to the rest of your colors. So I'm using light ultramarine blue, and I usually start with a heart, kind of a heart, because I'm going to be dragging these this way, so there is something that breaks that line. So that's what that's doing. It's breaking the lines. And I like to use the heavy one because it's not going to move. The liquid ones are. So this is heavy body, meaning it's thicker. and it dries faster. This, so you'll see in a minute, is liquid and it's gonna come out of there really fast. So I'm gonna drop these on paper. And some of the cheaper ones might not come out as good as the golden. Remember I said it's a more expensive one and it's worth it?
Karen, is that open or is that fluid?
No, do not use open. It's the fluid. Open acrylic, everybody, stays wet longer. And I haven't made friends with that yet. I like it that acrylic dries. I go layer. I have sometimes 10 layers, you know, and I want it to dry, so. Isn't David the best? You guys are really lucky. I'm gonna take him home. Have him do some more videos for me. So when they're thicker white, or when they're in the cheaper bottles, they don't drip out as much. So then I just kind of do it where I'm just going across like that. It doesn't matter. I told you I'm going to add this one here. Usually I only have 3 colors that are in the same color family or analogous colors. Okay. Now I'm going to do the opposite color, and I want you to see, and you should think about this with your own paintings, how all of a sudden this gets kind of pretty. Doesn't it? Okay. And this is the naughty one. I only use 10 drops. Because if you use more, it's going to get too dark. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now, we're going to take a credit card or a motel key. My husband says, use the credit card. You know that joke, don't you, about the husband notices that his credit card, his wife's credit card has been stolen, but he doesn't report it because she, doesn't charge as much as his wife did. So you want to count out about 10 paper towels, somewhere in there. And I like Viva paper towels. And then you put it, I call it a bib. Let me move this up so you can see the bib. Here's the bib. Now I'm going to start in the middle of my paper. The reason is because when I'm doing this, I am pulling the paint, and if I start clear at the end, by the time I get to that length of that whole paper, it's going to be all mushed together. Does that make sense? So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to make sure that I have this in some paint. So I just kind of click it, and I'm holding my credit card straight up, right? When I teach classes in this, they want to do this all day. They don't want to move on to the real painting. I just think these are so pretty. And every time I do a new one, I learn something more. You keep learning about colors. Now I wipe it off on this paper towel here. Before I turn it around to do the other side, I'm going to stick my hand in the water. I'm going to I'm going to get rid of most of my water before I go over here, and I'm just going to do, like Carlin used to say, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. And what this is doing is causing little white dots that later, when we put the paper towel on top of that, I have to look to see how many times. And if you think like you got too much dark, put a dot in the middle of that. and you get rid of that, all that dark. Whatever you want, whatever you don't want, you can be direct. Now these, of course, most of my friends that know me know that I save everything. These I save usually, and I make little journal covers out of them. I brought one to show you. But tonight, this is killing me, but I'm throwing it away.
That was pretty.
I know.
Where did the yellow come from?
It was a green gold. It's looking more yellow on there than probably it is. But it's a green gold. It is a yellowy green. That's prettier color right there. If I hold my credit card down flat, I will get muddy colors. I want to have this straight up, pull it towards me like that, and then I can, any extra on the side I can put over there. Yeah, there's so many fun things. I learned this from reading a book by Mary Todd Beam, by the way. Great artist. I got to meet her when I taught in Cayuga. And she was just a great lady. I call her a grand lady. She passed away, but I was so glad to get to meet her. She was just as nice as she was a genius in painting. Not the water drops, that's mine. But the other she has in her book. So now I'm going to do bless you, bless you, bless you. Okay. I'll put one right there. Okay. Now you have to let this set for 5 minutes. Now when I teach my classes, I have a great joke that I'll tell you on the slide, maybe. But I do not want that to go viral. So I'm not going to tell that now. But so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these. I'm going to show you how to do a quick value sketch, but I'm also going to, there it is, I can feel it. So this is, there it is. This is a booklet that I made with a paper towel. This outside, and you guys can take this and bend it. I'm going to pass this around so you can feel it. So you can bend it, you can fold, it doesn't matter. It will go back, it's like leather. It will be, and it's just so fun. So this was me doing the scraping on there, and then I just doodled on it a little bit more. And so it'd be fun for you to see. Now we've got this wonderful background here that's going to have some dots in it in about 5 minutes. I should set my timer. Somebody want to tell me 5 minutes from now? You got me covered? Okay. It can be longer than 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a pretty good judge. What we're waiting for is for the part that I scraped to dry. The water droplets will not be dry by that time. But if and then you'll see in a minute. So let's see, I'm going to put this aside and put this over here. And this is a value sketch of what we're going to be doing tonight. And I'm going to show you kind of how I come up with my value sketches. First of all, I draw a rectangle that is the size about, if I was going to do a square, I would draw a square, a square painting, then I would do a square. But this is a rectangle here. And all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start at the left and I'm going to go up to the top. And I'm going to do an arch in it just for fun. I'm gonna do the complete arch and I'll come back and show you how I attached to the top here. So I'm gonna go this way and then I'll go over to this side. And then I'm gonna come side, and now my object at this point is to get to the bottom of the page. However I wanna do that, doesn't matter. And do a little bit of an angle here, go down, maybe like that, and up to here. Now, when I do an arch like this, I actually go clear to the other side. Usually I would stop and I would go right to the top. And I'm creating a cruciform. But it's easier when you're doing an archway like that to just keep going with it and then just do a connection. Okay, so now I have connected you to all four sides of the paper, and I am going to color in the corners, and just like magic, I have got a design that will lead the viewer's eye through this painting. I've got a light pathway, which I'm passionate about. I like light pathways a lot. But if you see this particular thing, what stands out to you? Does this keep grabbing your eye? Right here? It does mine. Right here, right? So I need to repeat that, right? So I want to repeat, I want repetition, variation, and dominance. I'm going to write those names down. Variation, dominance. Okay, so I've got this little indent thing here that is looking dark. So I'm going to do an indent down over here that's connected to that, and already I feel better. Don't you feel better? So now, if I'm adding something recognizable into my art at this point, I want to draw that within a big area. So this is going to be my little dragonfly here, and this is not going to be framed. So I don't care if it looks like a fly, or I don't care. So we'll just put this little guy. We used to catch dragonflies. We lived on a ranch in Montana. We used to go down to the creek, and I had two brothers and one sister, and we would all try to catch those dragonflies, you know. So it was pretty fun. Good pastime. Okay, so now you can see that isn't just a big hole. So if I have this light background here, then I'm going to make his head really dark so that you'll see it. But whatever I do, I want you to be able to get through this pathway. I'm not going to cut it off, where you can get through to all four sides. So that's my only rule for myself. I'm passionate about that. And you'll see as we do the painting how I treat the wings and things. But this would be a good case. I could put this as dark because it's right in this light area here.
5 minutes is up.
So, okay, 5 minutes, see? This took me maybe 3 minutes, right? So any of you who are saying, oh, I don't like to do value sketches, okay. Now you have no excuse. We all have 3 minutes, right? All right, so now we're going to take one of those paper towels that I had, a bunch of them, and we're going to put, here we go. And I'm going to turn it around. I can't remember which side I did first, but I think it was this one. And I'm going to put the paper towel on top of this. And you'll see just lightly that you'll see some spots, right? But you just lightly see them. Now watch what happens if I spray it with a water bottle, because this part that didn't have the spots on it is dry. That's why I don't like open, because that wouldn't be dry. Right? See it? Anytime you see any spots that are kind of a little bit dull, you can spray them again. This is your last chance because those are going to dry too. And then it's done. But I think that adds a lot to have those little sparks of white. And now I'll do the other side. Now when I do full sheet, boy, that's a process. Because I do a quarter sheet at a time. You know. See the difference? And now I'll spray it. See, I already dabbed it. And now I'll spray it, and I will take the other side of this paper towel that's clean. Sometimes I've had students that use the same paper towel and they're like, it's not getting clean. Well, they're pressing the dirty part back into it, you know. Use a new paper towel. Might be a good idea. Oh. It's cute. Oh no, he was tired. Yeah. Yes.
What's happening there with that water? Is it pushing the paint aside?
Where did, like here?
Yeah, when you flash the water on.
Okay, this part was already dry because I waited 5 minutes. But the parts that had the water spots, we was keeping that all wet. So then I was able to put the paper towel on it and have it pick it up.
Picking up the paint.
Yep. It's picking up the paint and pick it up so you got the white spots and you can't say, oh, I'll do that later, I'll get these whiter later. You can, but they won't be this organic shape because you'll be doing it with rubbing alcohol. Okay, so we'll put this aside. And just like the cooking show, here's from the oven. Then you dry your subject on a tracing paper, and you put the tracing paper where you would like to have that. I like to do it on tracing paper so that I can move it around and see where it would be prettiest on there. Also, when you trace this, you want to use carbon paper, not Sorel or graphite paper. It's carbon paper. It's the stuff you never use when you're doing a watercolor. Okay? But I will you want to put this underneath, you want to make sure, before you do the whole thing, like I did, that you have the right side down. So make sure you put it under here. Oh my gosh, we've all done it, right? How many of you done it many times? In front of an audience. So I'm going to put what I do is I go like this and then I keep and see, okay, yep, that's the right side. And then I keep going. So here's my pathway of light that I just demonstrated to you, right? This one has a few of these little, I call them just ladder things here that are kind of fun, and I've repeated quite a few of them so that you got the repetition. And I put the dragonfly on a separate paper after I get it on here, and I move it around according to that to make sure that those wings get where I want them to be. That's why I like to do this separately. But, so I've already got these all done, so you guys won't have to watch me do that. You all understand what I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah, I was a little worried about coming and teaching for you guys because I haven't taught for a whole year. And I don't know about you, have you started talking to yourselves? I talk to myself and then I say, stop talking to yourself. I mean, that makes no sense, right? Oh, my gosh. Okay, so now we are going to what I call I'm going to find my lights on this painting. And so I'm going to take rubbing alcohol. It has to be 91%. Now, during COVID year, you couldn't get rubbing alcohol very easily. And I could find some 70%, and I used it, but it wasn't very much, it wasn't as strong as this is. If you have asthma or whatever, some breathing problems, be sure to use a mask. Use it in a well-ventilated area. But I'm going to show you how neat this looks compared to using white paint. At least I think it does. Much better. And you want to use jumbo cotton balls. And that is why, because when you use those little ones, you're going to go, oh my gosh, it's just like. So I put my finger on the edge of this, where I want to only scrub where the light pathway was. And I'm going to do little circles. And sometimes I kind of like that orange there. Sometimes I will put tape over that so that I won't scrub that away. And I'll let that orange come all the way to if I like something in the underpainting, I go around it. There now, see that mark right there? Remember when I use that shaper and I said this is injuring the paper? That's what that did. I think it's neat to have those little interruptions. And it lots of times will give you ideas on how to proceed with your painting. So put my finger where the head is. I do not have to be picky about this at all, because we'll be going around this with a glaze and you'll be finding those pathway and stuff a little bit easier. I'm going to show you a trick. When you have straight lines, you can put the tape on both sides. Okay. And now I'm just rubbing because I got the tape protecting, so I can be able to rub in circles. And I don't like to get it clear down to the white. I like to see some of those brush marks that were caused from that big barn brush. So I love it when you have a little bit of that left in there, right? Here's another where that injuring the line across. And this might not look white. Oh, the other thing is, when you're scrubbing your floors and your floors are really dirty, how many are with me? How many don't do your floors every single night like my mom did? I didn't learn. Anyway, mine's every month. I'll do that. And when you scrub, you're getting dirt, right? So if you keep using that same rag, you're rubbing the dirt back into the floor. So get a new rag, right? Rinse your rag. So it's the same thing with this. We want to rinse it off, get something new. And my mom washed down the kitchen floor every single night, clear till she was 88. What? It does, doesn't it? You and me you're on the same wavelength. That's right. Sign of a misspent life is a perfectly kept house. I love that saying. Okay, So, because I didn't watch, when I was doing the video, I did that for Creative Catalyst, and Creative Catalyst became, there's a bunch of names. They all became Streamline Paints, the one that Eric Rhodes is on, and stuff, he's the one. And, I thought, this is gonna be so fun. I'm gonna get movie star quality, right? I'm gonna get my makeup done and my hair done, and nope. That's not. But it was really, really fun, and I'm telling you guys, if you can get those, you can see pretty good previews of them to see if you want to order them or not. The 2 videos that they made, they did a nice job on them, so it's pretty fun. But no makeup, So this one has all of the whites are out. I thought you didn't need to watch me do that, right? All of that. So this gets to be moved aside. So now, 8 o'clock. Oh, are we already at break time?
We can go another 15.
Did I do 15 more minutes? Okay, all right. So, what we're gonna, so these don't mind, you see, I hold my finger there, so these are fuzzy. And that's okay, because the next step is we're going to be adding to around it, and you'll see that it gets to be sharper edge. Or maybe you like the soft edge, I don't know. By the way, with those light pathway that we do, they can be soft too. They don't have to be, I happen to love the hard edges, but you might not. Maybe you like the other. I'm going to do the exact opposite, and I'm going to do what's called a unifying color. I'm going to do a darker color. I'm going to do like an orange color. Maybe I'll add just a touch of this raw umber. I mean, not much at all. I'll show you. Put this over here so you can see what I'm mixing. And got a palette knife, and I'm mixing in just the darker color you always add in slowly. Well, that's pretty good. I might go back and get a little bit lighter. All right. Now we are going to be doing what's called negative painting, which means you're going to be coming up to that light pathway and we're stopping. We're painting behind things. So this could be a building back there. Go up to this edge, and I've got my end of this over here. And you see, I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see through. It froze, didn't it? Maybe does it need me to move it? It probably wants that little break. So you can see that when I first started doing acrylics, I thought acrylic would cover every layer. And I thought, oh, well, I don't have to think about what's underneath. Yes, you do. You still have to think about what's underneath, just like you do with watercolor. You can lift off like I'm doing right now. You're not seeing it, but I'm using a thirsty brush and taking off that part that went over the wings. And now what I am doing right now is I'm trying to bring the viewer's eye with this mid-tone color along the light pathway over to the sides of the paper. And I do this, with landscapes, I do this process in everything I do. It doesn't matter. It can be landscapes. I do a lot of landscapes that look like, they look like patchwork quilt, kind of.
I'm not seeing what you're doing.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Maybe this would be a good time to take a break.
Maybe we should take a break. That's a good idea. Next thing I'm going to do is show you how to do the what I call wire drawing, and how to do the wings. This is really one of my favorite things to do. I've gotten where I can't stop doing it. So that's really true. And it has benefited all of my art. So because you're so loose, you know. So what I'm doing when I'm doing this wire drawing, right now I'm using a heavier pencil than I usually do. I usually just use a pencil. I do not use a marker to start with, okay? And I am going to start out here, and this dragonfly was so cool. It was in Florida on the picnic table, and so I really got a pretty good picture of their wings, you know. You can also look up on the internet and get really close-up pictures of dragonflies too, but just don't copy them because they're all copyrighted, you know. But this is my photo. Anyway, so what I noticed with this was that the wings, the veins kind of go down, they kind of droop, but otherwise they're like a tree, okay? So I'll do it in this one here so you can see better. And you'll notice that my hand is like I have a nervous twitch. Okay, I'm just kind of, and I don't lift my pencil. I'm getting a lot of lines interacting with each other because of that. So this one goes down like this, and then every now and then I go whoop-de-doo, which means do a great big slash across in a curve, just something that doesn't make sense, okay? Where your grandkid grabbed your hand and put a slash across. I love in my classes to actually do that, and if they've got it too neat, and I'll go, oh, where's your whoopie-doo? So I'll put that on, and they're like, oh, and I go, no, that's gonna make it. It's gonna make it. They don't believe me. All right, so now I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to use the ultra fine end. I have a Sharpie. I love Sharpie twin tips because I've got the two markers in one, but the ultra fine end, and I am going to do little closed shapes. Every one of these is completed shape, okay? And I'm gonna, just for the sake of you guys seeing them better, I'm gonna use the wider tipped, but don't use the wider tipped, okay? Use the thinner one. And I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Here's my whoopie-doo that goes across there. But every one of these, like I wouldn't just do like this and then go over to this and see you've got that end right there that's not completed. I want to have a closed shape. Closed shape, closed shape. Get it? Once I get the closed shapes, then I'm going to do what's called thick and thin. I'm going to do a little bit wider at one end of that than the other. And you'll see it just kind of makes it look neat, doesn't it? So I always think of every shape as a, that line needs to be made, I need to vary it. So I want one end of it thicker than the other, is what I'm thinking of when I'm doing it. It doesn't matter which end you decide, but you'll see that they really start looking neat. Okay, so then, so all of these are done, like I told you, and then I had a little fun, put some checks in there. These are not real. I love to have some fun with some checks here and there. And so the thick and the thin. We want to do the head of the dragonfly next. I asked somebody to tell me, though I want to tell you guys before we get too much farther. The steps on this, if you're doing it as a watercolor, are the same. The only thing is that this is a watercolor, okay? The only thing different is that I either masked that white pathway out, okay, with masking fluid, or I painted around it, one or the other. Now, when I got to the wings here, to be able to have some fun stuff within the wings, I put masking fluid over the whole wing, and then I ran my fingers through it, creating holes, which you're going to see when I show you how to do the gold. Okay, so you're going to see that same. But that's how I got all these unusual shapes, is by running your finger through it. Okay?
Down to the paper, Karen?
Down to the paper, so I have holes in that.
After you painted it.
The masking fluid is dry. Okay, it has dried. And then I just run my fingers through it, and I get those holes. I get all these unusual shapes were caused from doing that.
I don't bring it, I'm just saying.
You'll see it at the end.
Oh,
Okay. So otherwise, the same process, except that you're working in watercolor. Okay? All right, so let's go back to, we're going to do the head of the dragonfly here. And I'll use my raw umber for this. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm putting this dark because it's against a light background here. So I want to have that drama of the dragonfly changing from dark to light. And it's over the light area, it's dark, and when it's over the dark area, it's light. Put the edges here. And a lot of ways you paint with acrylic just like you do with watercolor. Okay, so now I want to pull out. I'm going to lift with a thirsty brush, which means that my brush is wiped off. I've taken out, I squeeze out the extra water, and I'm going to just lift off a little bit of a highlight here, a bit of a highlight here, like magic. All of a sudden, it's got a little bit of a form to it. I think this is where their eyes are. Anybody know?
I've never been able to catch one, I don't know.
They say paint what you know, right? You can't catch a dragonfly? They're pretty easy, Marilyn.
Well, I guess I haven't tried. We have mostly damselflies and they're really tiny.
They're just great. All right, so that's the first coat. I may do one more layer on that. I'm going to do just a little bit of hit and miss within. I'll just have some fun painting in some of these shapes. Where this is over the light area, I could put some stripes in it there. Or just some little shapes. Okay. Okay. Now, to have drama on your painting, you want to get to the darkest darks. A lot of times, students will come to me and they go, I don't like my painting. And I'll go, okay, you just need to get darker. You know, just really get those darks in there, and then you're going to see that it makes a huge difference. So I love in acrylic carbon black is my black that I use. There it is. It's the blackest black. If you're working in watercolor, if you mix phthalo green and alizarin crimson, that's a great black. So that will really work out well. So I'm going to put some black in here, and I think you'll say, boom, right? I'm going to go within that last orange, and then maybe I want to save a stripe or something. I can do it two ways. I can put this all as black, and then I can wipe it out. That's the easiest. But I'm going to save a little bit of this edge right over here. I want that this area here I want you to really look in that area. So that's why I'm going to put the darkest dark in those areas. I'm still going to save that orange because I like it. Okay, I'll show you white lifting out. If I take this thirsty brush and I say, oh, I kind of missed that orange. I can just lift it back out. That's easier than painting around it, I think. It has a different look. You get softer edges and stuff, so. The other thing you can do at this point with acrylic is to just put your finger in the rubbing alcohol and then just do a little flick. You see how you get those little spots? That is because that orange is dried and it's going down to that layer. I love special effects like that. And just like watercolor, if you do this too soon, it just goes right back, and that's what it's doing right there. It doesn't know that I'm the boss of it. I get to be the boss, and sometimes I have to tell it, just like your kids, I'm going to count to 5. Many times. I brought along another thing, and I talked to you about doing 30 days of painting. How many are going to try that? Oh my gosh, we got more than 3. That's cool. That's really good. I love it. I'm going to actually, I think I don't know if I'm going to do it in January or February, but one of those months I'm going to do it. And usually I have a theme. This year I thought, it's been a long time since you've done flowers. Maybe you should do flowers again. In abstract, of course, but that would be fun. So I'm doing black that is within that last layer that I painted. And like I said, I'll save little parts of it. I especially want you to I want it to be up next to part of the wing. So this part here will be black, but it has a different look. If you can say, well, why didn't you just do the black right to start with? It looks like a cutout piece of construction paper if you do that. But if you layer it like this, where you build up your layers, then you get a deeper look. And that dragonfly should start to be popping off the paper, right? Yeah. And I can save as much of that, as long as I get this black next to the dragonfly. That's my main thing. I can leave that much of the orangey red. Alright, so I'll bring this black down through here. And here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry that I came late, but, do you ever do a portrait like this?
Yes. But they're funky. They are funky. I didn't probably show that. I think I have one that's in progress right now. This is one in progress. And then again, I'm turn it sideways so you can see the whole thing on the camera there. But same process, exactly the same process. But it's with, I lifted out her whole face with the rubbing alcohol, and then I put it back in with the other so that I wouldn't have that splotchy look all over, you know. I do anything, I do animals. I do people, different people, that's one that's in progress too. I've done tons of crows. So, and then I do just pure abstract too, and that it all works out.
Same process.
Same process, exactly the same. Yep.
You are gonna get to the goal, aren't you?
You're waiting for the gold. You have to get home. My husband is calling. He wants me home. It's funny. All right, so. Oh, that was really perfect timing. Oh, that's funny. I was giving another demo for another group, and all of a sudden I said, and I was laughing because somebody's phone was going off, and it kept going, and I said, oh, you're going to be really embarrassed, whoever that is, when you finally answer that, and then I realized it was mine. Okay, and then you would do that along, get those darks to go out from this too. But as I get close to the edges, I will get that dark to be lighter and lighter. I want the blackest black near the center of interest. So that's what I'm working with that. Now we're going to get to the gold. All right. So the gold is gold foil. It's called gold foil paper. You can get, one of them you can get is this one, and it is called gold reactive foil. This is not gold leaf. It's so much easier, so much easier. Yeah, see, somebody just left me a text. It's my hubby. Anyway, it comes out in sheets like this. Okay, so it's so easy to apply. I love it. So much easier than gold leaf, and cheaper. So, and you can get this at Hobby Lobby. All right. Now, if you can't get it at Hobby Lobby, you used to be able to get it at Michael's. Now they don't sell anymore. You can order this. This is called Deco Foil. That's the same thing also. And this is available at joggles.com. joggles.com.
Can you get this at, like?
I don't think so. No. No. The only place I've been able to find this one is at Hobby Lobby, and that's hit and miss. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't.
Does it have glue on it?
Mm-mm.
Is it a
No.
I hope.
And it when you buy it, when you get it at Hobby Lobby, I think they have a machine that maybe is like an iron or something like that to put it on. But I bought it thinking, I think this is the same as the other stuff that I had, so I'm going to I'm gonna use that. I actually thought, I'm gonna change to this one and put on the gold, just because I'm no dummy, I'm not gonna work with curves in front of you guys. I'm gonna work with straight. So, it works really, really well on top of black. It's wonderful. I've discovered, the instructions will tell you on, most of these will tell you that you use a glue. And you wait until it gets to the last shine stage and all of that. I decided I'm always looking for an easy way out, and I found out, I thought, I'll bet I can just use ATG tape, which is double stick tape, okay? And it's used for framing, double stick tape. And so you do not want to get the kind of double stick tape that goes on a Scotch roll. It has to be in a little. You can get little machines like this that cost maybe $15. This costs around $65, $70. So, but I use this every single day. So for me, it's a great investment.
Why doesn't the Scotch tape work?
It's too thick.
It comes out too thick.
It's
There's
too
a-
thick.
There's a layer in between.
Yeah, because of what I'm going to show you next. All right, so now I've got this. I put this on. You pull the trigger. You pull it towards yourself. It's on right here, and I'm going to put a little bit more. This is so cool because you can, if it gets on that, you just roll it up, and you roll it to the shape you want. If it gets on the wings, I roll it up. Now I'm going to put my fingers through it. Now remember I told you earlier, when I do the wings with the masking fluid, I let it dry, correct? Then I run my fingers through it. Now it's the same thing as this. I'm running my fingers through this too. I'm making holes. So I'm going to get some holes, and because that black is behind it, you're going to get to see what I'm talking about with all the holes. All right, so now we put this on. You put it with the pretty side up. Don't go like this, or you're going to have a mess. But put it on the pretty side up, and you just push it down. And you pull it off really fast, and voila. Now I'm going to hold this up really close so you can see all those holes. Let it focus. Isn't that cool? So because it has the black behind it, it shows that really well. Now I can move this, I can make this any shape I want by rolling it up. Rolling the sides. I can even add another color, and you order them from Joggles. Aren't you guys glad you stayed? Don't tell people that left there.
Get that design, that sort of square design on the other one that was Egyptian.
Oh, I'll show you in a minute. So I have rolled up, what I've done is I'm exposing the tape, the glue, by rolling it, correct? So either if I didn't want a different color, I would just put the same color on top, and then that would take care of that glue type being exposed. But I thought it would be really fun if you guys saw how neat it looks when you have a different color. Where it's on the outside. So, right? Isn't that the coolest? Yeah. All right. So now, to do the, I saw a card back many years ago, and it had raised up gold on it, and I thought, where did they get that? And I looked for 2 years buying every kind of gold I could possibly get. So I'm saving you guys years by telling you. this is glass paint, and it's 3-dimensional. And so if I want to, and by the way, when you buy this part here has a foil on top of it. So you have to take that part off first. You have to puncture it. Then you have to cut the end of the other thing. If you just cut the end of this and think you're ready to go, it's still gonna come out of the bottom. You know, it's gonna be bad. So, all right. So all I'm doing now, this is the 3-dimensional part that does the little scroll thing. And I put this on this part to hide the fact that I have used my double stick tape with those lines. But after I started doing it, I thought, I love these. And people say, where did you get that? Where can I buy that kind of paper? I said, oh no, this is all a process. There's 3 steps to be able to get there. So, and I used to spaz out about them all having to be exactly the same, and guess what? They do not have to be the same at all. But this takes like 20 to 30 minutes to dry. So when you come up and want to touch this one, don't touch it. It won't be dry. But the other ones back there you can touch, you know, and see that it's a 3D look. So
it dries clear over the gold.
So it dries, I'll show you how it dries. Where did I put it? There it is. Put that lid back on there. And then show you how it dries. Because I have finished my painting. Also, when I put them together, I always make sure I have some plastic between them so they don't stick to the painting behind it, because this never, ever, it always wants to stick. So this is the finished painting. There's the gold that I had, and this on here.
Where do you get the liquid glass? Online or offline?
That you can get a Dick Lick. Yep. The glass paint. It's called PBO. Yeah. So I put the gold here. I've got the holes in this. It doesn't show as much as the other one because it doesn't have black behind it. So keep that in mind if you want to show it more. This one has a little bit, shows the holes a little bit more. And the last thing I do is just to put a real watered down glaze over the top of that pure white, just to be able to subdue. I leave the pure whites right next to the head of the dragonfly, and the rest of it I dole down like that. And that is it. Any questions?